evening, everybody. I'm actually not sure what time of day it is for you, where you're at, where you're watching, where you're listening, but it is night here at Heritage Bible Baptist Church in Greenwood, Delaware, and my name is Cameron Manaraze. I'm the assistant pastor here, assistant to my dad, and just trying to help him out and be a blessing here where I can. And I'm going to come to you with a 3 to 5 minute devotion out of God's Word. Hopefully it'll encourage you and help us in our Christian walk. I'm going to be in Matthew chapter 9 and just a few other places real quickly. And starting to read in verse 36, Matthew 9:36, here's what it says. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and were scattered abroad, as sheep having no shepherd. Then saith he unto his disciples, The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. If you're tracking Jesus Christ's life up to this point, man, he is busy. It says in verse 35 that he's going around, he's preaching the gospel of the kingdom. It says he's healing every sickness of every person that's brought to him. He is busy. And then Jesus says this, but when he saw. You know, often we're too busy to stop and see. We're too busy to stop what we're doing and look at the needs of others. Now, one thing I know, this COVID-19, 2020, whatever, this is a weird time to live. Whether you think it's this pandemic is serious or if it's blown up, whatever you think, it's still an odd time to live. And I know for everybody, we've been slowed down a little bit. Schedules have been altered. Maybe some people are out of work. I know we're not having meetings like we would. We're not going to preach meetings. We're not having revivals like we used to in this time. But Jesus Christ stopped and he saw. I hope through this time, many of us are grounded. I hope we don't waste this time. Maybe in this time, God will do something in your heart like it says in the verse. It says, when Jesus saw, when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion. Moved with compassion. What does that mean? Well, the word compassion literally means to have sympathy, to try to help somebody who is in trouble. It means to hurt together. It literally means, in the word of using it in action, it's saying, I want to go to that person who is hurt, who is suffering, and I want to help them. And that is what we are called to do as Christians. More than ever, the Christians should stand up and help the lost and the hurting world. We ought to have compassion. You see, in the life of Jesus, over and over and over, Jesus Christ went about and was moved with compassion. Compassion is always accompanied by action. Jesus Christ in Mark chapter 1, the leper comes to him and Jesus put forth his hand and healed the leper. In Luke chapter 10, we have the story of the Good Samaritan. You have the Levite, you have the priest who walked by the person who was beat up and left for dead. But the Good Samaritan had compassion. He had compassion on that man, and he went out of his way in danger, in harm's way. That's why the Levite and the priest went on by, because they didn't want the same thing to happen to them. But the Good Samaritan had compassion. You see, in Mark chapter 5, Jesus Christ goes to the maniac of Gadara, goes out of his way, and goes and helps somebody that nobody else wanted to help. He heals him. He casts out the demons. You know what he says to him? He says, go and tell your friends what great compassion I've had on you. When is the last time you were moved with compassion? When's the last time you looked at somebody and said, man, they need some help. I'm going to show them some compassion. In Jude chapter 1, there's only one chapter. It says, and some have compassion, making a difference. Church, whoever's listening to the listener, I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in a bus kid's life. I want to make a difference in somebody's life. And we need to look for people to have compassion on. You can do it. Social media, have compassion on somebody. Reach out to somebody. Pray for somebody. We are the church. We are supposed to reach out. We're supposed to show compassion. I sure am thankful that Jesus Christ saw me, a useless, helpless sinner, and he came down. He died on the cross for my sins. He showed great compassion. And church, we need compassion. We need to express and show compassion. Don't just look at somebody's need and say, well, you know what? They'll get through it. No. We need to help some people through the rough times. Who can you help and who can you have compassion on?